Hello lovelies, how you all doing? If this is your first time watching my channel, I'm Lina Tabe. I'm a baker based in Yaoundé, Cameroon. I'm also a small chops vendor, I'm a sugar instructor, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a food enthusiast, and lots more. So today I'm going to show you how to layer your cakes and crumb coat using Swiss Meringue Buttercream. Swiss Meringue Buttercream is a steady, stable type of buttercream which is not sweet and which is perfect in all weather and under fondant. So if you are interested in learning this buttercream, do not forget to write me and I'm going to send you a link to my Swiss Meringue Buttercream class. So in this video, I started with vanilla cake because vanilla cake is very steady, unlike chocolate cake, which is soft. So vanilla cake serves as a base for all my cakes. I always start with vanilla cake. And you can see that I'm using a spatula and a trimming knife to trim the cakes because I bake my cakes 2 layers high. So I trim the cakes to butter it, to sandwich it with Swiss Meringue Buttercream. It makes it yummy. You're free to actually leave it like that. But I think when I sandwich it and I add a thin layer of buttercream, it makes a whole lot of difference. So you see how I'm placing my hands. You see basically the right hand is doing the work while the left hand is just rotating the cake. So that's what you're going to notice throughout all my videos. That's how you're going to notice how I trim the cake, how I crumb coat the cake, how I layer the cake with buttercream. It's just the same process. My right hand is doing the job while my left hand is basically turns the table. So I'm going to layer it. I'm going to divide and layer. For most of my cakes, I use 3 layers of cakes. Most of my cakes, I use 3 layers. I could decide to take 2 chocolate, 1 vanilla, or 2 vanilla, 1 chocolate. It actually depends. It depends on the client's preference at times. It depends on me. And make sure that your cakes are cold. When your cakes are cold, this process is easier. It's much easier, excuse me. When your cakes are cold, this process is much easier to handle. Your cakes are better handled and you work with ease, with no stress. So I'm going to do this for all my cakes, just layering and adding the cake on top. Actually, try to bake my cakes as level as possible. To do that, you need a good recipe and how you handle your cakes immediately when it comes out from the oven. So your cakes come out moist and well level, so you don't trim off so much cake in the process of layering the cake. So I basically do not layer my cakes, and there's no style like which is the bottom, which is the top. You see, it depends. I just superimpose the cakes, and now I'm trimming, and I'm still following the same method. If you notice, my right hand is trimming while my left hand is turning the table. And why trimming? Your hand is supposed to be steady. Yes, it's supposed to be your right hand is steady. It's the left hand which is just turning the table while your right hand is steady. So in this process of trimming, you need to have a cool mind. I like working first thing very early in the morning. I have a cool mind to trim my cakes, and in the morning I am more efficient. I'm more effective. I'm just 100% energized in the morning when I get up. So it's so easier for me to work in the morning. So if you need to have a cool head, let me to do this so you don't over trim your cake, because it's very dangerous if you have to over trim your cake. If you over trim your cake, then there'll be a problem to mend it. You don't want to bake again, or maybe the customer wants to pick up the cake in 2 hours time and you want to bake. So you just keep turning, rotating until you're satisfied with how the cake comes out. If it comes out well, then fine. Well, if you're a chocolate ganache person, you can go ahead, make your chocolate ganache and crumb coat the cake. But I'm going to use the crumbs with buttercream, with Swiss Meringue Buttercream. To crumb coat the cake, you just take crumbs, a bit of Swiss Meringue Buttercream, and you cover the cake. That will serve as our first base. So that's what we're basically doing. And you see the process is just the same. If you master this process, then you will be fine. Bet me, you will be fine. Trust me. So that's basically what I'm doing. Going further, please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me in the comment section. I'll be so glad to help you. So this process is just on and on. You're just going to do it, cover the cake until you're satisfied with how it looks like. Once you're satisfied. But my madam the person who taught me, I actually learned from my madam. I actually learned from online. She sits down to trim her cake. She sits down to crumb coat her cake. So do what works for you. But I just love standing up because it makes me more efficient and more effective. So after I've applied the cake crumbs on the cake, I'm just going to take buttercream without crumbs to smoothen it. What I'm just doing basically now is just adding more crumbs just to catch all the crumbs on the cake and then make the cake look very smooth. So when the fondant sits on it, it's not looking bumpy, it's not looking rough, it's just looking smooth, neat and nice. So as usual, you're going to repeat this process until you're satisfied, until you're happy with the outcome. You're just going to repeat it until you're happy with the outcome. So at this level, I'm just going to stop because I think I was telling a story about my son, how he made a new friend, and after some time he told me that he's no longer comfortable with his friend and that he prefers to sit at home and play with his computer. And when I asked him, because when he started, my son is actually not a boy who loves to play. In our neighborhood, is strictly a business neighborhood, so there are very few homes around. So that's the story I was just saying there. There are very few homes around a neighborhood. Why obviously smoothing your cake with buttercream until you love how it comes out? This is left to your discretion. So as I was saying, that's the story I was basically saying about my son, how he had this new friend when school started, and I was not comfortable with it. But he told me he's a man now. I was like, you're just 8 years old and you're telling me about you being a man. And my husband travels often, so I spoke with him. He just asked me, what do I think? I said, I'm not comfortable. Anyway, I know their mom. I just know their mom as a neighbor. I know this boy's mom as a neighbor, but I'm not really comfortable with the fact that my boy is making friends in the neighborhood. So he came in one day and said he really wants to play game. That he wants to play game. His dad bought him boots, sportswear, and he wants to play game. And this is his friend knows where they can play game. They can play football. Sorry, the way they can play football. And I should not be scared that he's going to take care of himself. That's a big boy. I refused, and he was so angry and furious. I've never ever seen my boy furious. So he took the phone. He said he wants to talk to his daddy. That I'm so scared. So we spoke to his dad, and his dad just said, you can't control those things. There are certain things that when the boy is growing, you can't control it. Let him be. Okay, thank God I'm always at home. I make sure I'm always at home when my children come back from school. I make sure that I'm always with them. So I tell them, okay, you're going to play. Since you have a ball, you have boots, you have your sports attire, go, but you have to do that just for 30 minutes. And he went, since he won't really estimate 30 minutes. After some time, you just run, come back home, check. If it's not 30 minutes, you rush and go back. So that's how, he did it one time, two times. Then I just noticed that he was no longer requesting to go and play football. I asked him, I called him and I asked that, but why? Why no longer playing football with this your neighbor? What's happening? He told me no, that he's so playful. I said, oh, really? Really? And you don't like to play? Say no, I've discovered that I love computers more than football. Oh, the joy in my heart as a mom. I was so happy. I was so happy that at least I let him, he experienced that other lifestyle and he noticed that it was not for him. And for him, what makes him happy is when he's at home with his siblings and, when he's with his siblings, two junior sisters, and with me, he says it makes him more happy. I hugged him. I said, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I know it's not always easy. Just take it. This is just a story, which, I want to tell you, ladies, if you have children at home, at times it's just good to stay back and watch them, correct them immediately if you can, talk to them nicely, because I was so harsh with him. I said, no, you don't know. One day you will do it, but without you knowing. But I followed up the process and I was with him throughout. When he plays, when he comes back, how was it today? Did you score any goal? I was with him. Then I used to ask, so you have just abandoned this a computer boy? Don't you like this a computer again? He said, no, I like it, but I also want to play football, which is good. Not that he doesn't play now, but he plays with his junior sisters. We have a compound, so he plays out with his junior sisters and he loves it that way. He's so reserved. He loves it that way. And wow, that's the story which I was basically saying. So at this point, what I did, I just kept the cake in the freezer. I just put your cake in the freezer for about 15 minutes. If it's in the fridge for about 30 minutes, so that it firms up a bit and that you can now easily cover it with fondant. So the next step, we are going to apply fondant on this cake. I'm going to be sharing a recipe too on my fondant cake. That's the cake which I was about taking to the freezer so that it can firm up, and that after that we can apply fondant and it sits on it steady and nice. Okay, so yeah. So I'm going to now just clean the surface because that's where I'm going to place my fondant for it to set up and firm up. So I'm just going to clean it. And I like rolling fondant on this place. I don't know. Maybe that's where I started and I'm just used to. I prefer rolling fondant here than on the white table. So I always come back to my zinc topper to roll my fondant. So this I already made fondant. I have an assistant. She comes, she makes the fondant, and I just wrap them. I use Baker's Choice. I just wrap them and I keep in the freezer. I keep my fondant in the freezer. So when I want to use it, I can take it out about the night before I use. That's how I do it. I keep my fondant in the freezer. When I want to use it, just take it out and I use it. Then I just want to soften the fondant at this point, because when it comes out, it's so hard like this. What you want to do is you want to soften it. You just want to soften it and make it more pliable to use. So that's basically what I'm going to do at this moment. I'm just softening my fondant. So the cake is for a 25-year-old lady, and they didn't give me any design. At times I just want design because I don't want to walk up my head. So I'm adding CMC. I want to add CMC so that it should firm up. CMC helps the fondant firm. Yeah, that's why I'm just adding CMC. Not too much, just a bit, so that it should not be too hard. Just a bit. Just knead until it's pliable. Continue to knead. So as I was saying, was 25-year-old, and I always like designs. Give me design, please. So it makes me not to overwork my brain. But since this customer I've been working to for over 4 years. From January they start taking cakes. I'm so grateful to such customers. They start taking cakes till December. They take cakes, so I already know that taste. But if it's a new client, it will be so difficult. I'll just tell you, please give me the design. So I'm just going to make a simple marble cake for this client. I think an edible flour at home, but you're going to see at the end how I made some edible flowers very fast. Fondant flowers, fondant waffle flowers, as I can see. In our next video, you're going to see how I did that. It's a very fast design. I did marble, and then I did a marble. I just did flowers. I used mold to cut out some flowers, and I did a fault line design. So you want to stay to see how in my next video how I achieved that. So I'm just going to use the colors. That's why I keep my colors. I'm going to use fuchsia pink. Even though the fuchsia pink was already finished, I'm just going to empty the bottle on this design. So that's what basically I'm going to do. You see how I'm going to twist the cake to have there's so many ways you can do a marble design. There are countless ways, but this is one of the easiest ways you can achieve a very good and neat marble design. This is gel food color, so you can use any color, any food color you want. This is a gel food color. You can use anyone you're comfortable with. Wilton, Acapado, anyone you're comfortable with. You can just go ahead and use it. So I'm just going to be twisting. So as I earlier said, I'm doing a marble effect. There are many ways of achieving this marble effect, but I find this one the most simplest way of achieving. You just apply your food color and you twist and twist and twist. So after this, you're going to see I'm going to apply a corn flour on the surface. I roll my fondant on corn flour. Some people use vegetable oil, some people use Crisco. Anyone which works for you, fine. So I use corn flour as the first thing. I'm going to roll the top, then after that I'm going to roll the sides of the cake. You make sure that you want to measure your cake to get the exact measurement. You don't want to roll your fondant and it's shorter than the cake, so it's going to make your work nasty. It's good that when you roll in your fondant, you should roll it at least 2 more inches or 2 more centimeters taller than the usual measurement. In that way you have crisp and good edges. So guys, I'm just going to let you, that's the marble, you see how beautiful it really looks. I'm just going to let you just watch the rest of the video, and immediately I roll out the fondant, you're going to see I'm going to place it on the soft on the table so that it can set up and firm up. It will firm up for about 10 to 20 minutes, and at that point I can now wrap it, use the paneling method to wrap on my cake. So that's what I use most of the time, the paneling method. It works best for me. And if you want to learn this method of covering a cake, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that whenever I upload a video, you'll be the first to watch the video. I'll be sharing many more recipes for you. I'll share red velvet chocolate cake recipes. I'll share recipes that will change your caking business. So guys, this is your girl Nina Tabe. Let's grow together. Very much love. Bye.